Bayana Kamani, formerly of the USA, he goes for Panama on the inside. Then Rick Yates of Trafford Club, he's in lane 2. Tamasu of Japan in lane 3. Ruben McCoy of the USA in 4. Marek Plawgo of Poland in 5. Kerron Clement of the USA in 6. Markino Buckley of Jamaica in 7. And finally, Michael Tinsley of the USA out in lane 8. Some interesting competitors. This fella used to compete for the USA, now competes for Panama due to one of his parents holding a Panamanian passport. So he's gone there, obviously finding life pretty good there. He's in the world in the Olympic Games later on. 49.6. Rick Yates, 2008 UK champion, former English schools champion and English under-23 champion. 49.5. He's improved to over the course of the last few months. Tamasu of Japan, 30 years old, 6 times the Japanese champion and twice a World Championship bronze medalist. He's actually got a lifetime best of 47.89. Interesting competitor, Ruben McCoy of the USA, just 22 years old. He's run a staggering 48.37 this year. That ranks him 4th in the world for 2008. Marek Plawgo, he always starts off slowly, but always finishes very, very strongly indeed. 2006 European silver medalist and a bronze medalist from Osaka last season in the World Championships. Kerron Clement of the USA, the fastest man in the world this season. He's class over the hurdles, he's class on the flat as well. He broke Michael Johnson's world indoor 400-meter record in 2005. That's just how quick he is. Another youngster, don't know a lot about Markino Buckley of Jamaica, but he certainly has improved a lot over the last 12 months. Hadn't run under 52 seconds last year. Now he's down to 49.08. And finally, Michael Tinsley of the USA didn't make it through the heats of the Olympic trials, but unbelievably, he has run 48.84 this year. He is a very talented athlete. Could spring a surprise, but he's got a bad lane draw out in lane 8. Well, certainly a chance for Rick Yates from the Trafford Club, who's made great advances himself this year. There he is, to mix it with some of the big guns here.
Paul, just noticing on the inside of Rick Yates' arm, you can see it's written 147.15.10. I think that means 14 strides to 7 and 15 to 10. Why he has to write it on his arm, I'm not sure.
Well, he's not going to have time to read it, is he? Rick Yates goes in lane 2. Kerron Clement out in lane 6, away very, very smoothly. Rick Yates has gone herring after Tamasu, who's gone off very quickly as well. The Japanese there, almost on the shoulder of Ruben McCoy. And Tamasu there, you can see he's very short in stature. Only 1.69 meters tall, but the Japanese #1 and one of the best in the world over the last few years is going extremely well, but so is Kerron Clement. Rick Yates of the Trafford Club in lane 2 is having a good run. Kerron Clement of the USA in the lead at the moment. Tamasu is just fading a little bit, and Ruben McCoy is starting to come on strongly, but here comes Rick Yates of Trafford. This is a remarkable run. He's only a stride behind Kerron Clement with just 1 hurdle to go. My goodness, come on Rick Yates. Kerron Clement is striding home for the USA, then Rick Yates for Great Britain, and out in lane 7, Markino Buckley of Jamaica, 48.37. I tell you what, Rick Yates would have taken his lifetime best apart, but it's a couple of weeks too late.
Well, you know, Paul, he's another athlete. There's actually been a web page on Facebook. That's not the right phrase, is it? A community, I think, is the right phrase. Which a lot of athletes have signed up to, and he's one of the athletes who they think was rather unfairly treated by the selectors. Did have the B standard, they could have taken him, and if he's run another personal best here, and to be honest, the personal best would be a bonus. He's beaten some very, very good athletes here, and he took that race on. Kerron Clement is perhaps the best in the world at the moment. He was almost matching him as he came into the final hurdle. And Clement, yes, we expected him to win, and pulled away again off that last hurdle. But what a superb performance by the young man from Trafford. Superb run. Just watch this. At this part around this top bend here, he's probably lying about 4th or 5th at this point, Rick Yates, in the blue, in lane 2. And he really starts to turn it on around that bend. Now, Clement himself, I'm not sure, ran particularly well through this part of the race. and they actually rose pretty much together. He's probably, Clement, what, got a 2-meter lead at this point, and Rick Yates is moving through the field here, moves into second place, and yes, Clement off this last hurdle looks smooth and comfortable, and away he goes and just opens up a bit of a gap, and Yates is fighting hard to hang on to that second place and perhaps a personal best. And just looking at the clock, well, he may well have matched his personal best there. Actually, no, that's what I'm looking at on the computer. It's not up yet, but it's a big advance. You've got to not only get fast times in this sport, it's about beating people and beating good athletes, and there were some pretty good athletes in that race that he finished ahead of. Superb performance, athlete who's on the up and up, and I think can consider himself rather unfortunate again not to be picked in this event for the Olympics. Strong, gutsy run.
The run of his life as well. Rick Yates, just 22 years old. He's one of the favourites, though, for the Olympic title. Kerron Clement, fastest man. Well, the times for the 400-metre hurdles took a long while to come through, but I think we've got them now, and it was great news for Great Britain's Rick Yates of Trafford. 49.06, the 9th fastest ever by a British athlete. He's now down talking to Ron.
Rick, congratulations, your time just coming through, 49.06, a massive PB. What's your reaction to that news?
Yeah, obviously I'm happy to run a PB. I've had a pretty hard week with not getting selected, but my coach just told me to let my legs do the talking, and I think I did that today, so I'm pretty happy.
The fact that you weren't selected, how much more motivation did that give you today, and what message do you think it sent out to the selectors?
Well, it didn't really give me much more motivation. I don't find it hard to get motivated for races, but obviously it's nice to prove to them that I should have been selected. I thought I did enough in Birmingham, running the B standard and winning quite convincingly, but obviously not. So I've run the A standard today, but unfortunately it's too late. So there's nothing I can do about that.
You say A standard today, but you did run the B standard. Some of the athletes, your fellow athletes and athletics fans, have got behind you by mounting a campaign on the internet. What was your view of that whole situation and the support you received at grassroots level? Yeah,
it's great. I've had a lot of support this week from people like Rick Beardsley and Matt Elias, especially. And I've told UK Athletics what I think of it. It'd be wrong for me to talk about it now, but yeah, I mean, maybe they do need to change it, because I think when young athletes run the B standard, they should be taken really, especially when we've got the Olympic Games in London in 2012. So it's a bit disappointing, but I just got to keep running fast and make sure I've got the A standard next time, so I'm not in a similar situation.
Okay, disappointed over not being selected, frustrated obviously, but just on a lighter note, we see some digits on your arm. What's the significance of the writing on your inside left forearm there?
Yeah, that's my stride pattern in between the hurdles. I find that if I don't think about it throughout the race, I'll forget it, and if you get your stride pattern wrong in a 4 hurdles race, that's it. It's not like a 4 flat. You've got to keep the pattern all the way around, and if you don't, you'll run about 2 seconds slower than your PB. So I just write it on my arm so I remember it up to the race.
Well, Rick, congratulations on what was a massive PB today.
Cheers, thank you.
We're certainly applauding him up here in the commentary box. A brilliant run by Richard Yates, taking half a second off his lifetime best there. Kerron Clement, the USA, 48.36, still remains as one of the favourites for the Olympic title. Richard Yates, a great second place for him. Former bronze medalist from the World Championships, Marek Plawgo of Poland, in 3rd.
Rick Yates, an angry young man. Does he have just cause to be angry?
It's just a really double-edged sword, because the Federation sets its rules and they don't really want to be very flexible at that, because it leaves them a little bit too much opening for other athletes instead. But what he's gone out today was just remarkable. He came here, really one of the slowest in the field, and it wasn't just the manner he attacked the race, with the fact that he actually beat so many of the well-known names in the event. And that's a huge wake-up call to all the selectors. They've really got to take that seriously.
Well, part of the argument has been, Colin, that he could have been selected for the 4x4 relay as well. There were 2 chances for him, and he's failed to get in on both counts.
Well, it's interesting what the Federation will actually say about that, because, you know, we have developing athletes like himself. Just going to the Olympic Games would be a great experience, especially when you think there's 2012 on the way. You want people like that to feel part of the team, and that's what's vital. And I think that's where they possibly could have missed out.
Well, sadly, it looks like that's going to be Rick Yates' Olympic final this time around. OK, back to Jonathan.
That says this pole vault really coming alight now. Steve Hooker, second attempt at 5 metres 82. Over 6 metres early on in the year down under.